Guys, can you believe that I once spent 3 good nights in a police cell? Yes, I have. And this is my police cell experience and story and how it all began and how it all ended. So, welcome back to the Shami's Kitchen, your favorite kitchen, and it's story time. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more stories like this. And also, we learn how to bake and new recipes, and also, we just have fun here. So I decided to share with you this. Now it's hilarious, but back then, oh, that was just some scarring thing that was going on there. So there's this one time I'd just been I had lost my job. I used to work in a pharmacy as the cashier, pharmacy chemist. I used to be everywhere where there was Nakumat back then when there was Nakumat. So I was a cashier there in in the branches, some of the branches, because we used to relieve sometimes, and also I used to work mainly here in Embakasi. So I lost my job because the board, I think the pharmacy board or something happened there, and then they had to let us go. For us who had not like done exactly the pharmaceutical thing, we didn't have the papers. I lost my job, and then there, where I was working, I'd met a very nice friend. You know, that kind of friend who you meet and you click and they just love you, and they were a little bit older than I was. That was my first ever job. So I was still newish in Nairobi. I didn't know how to go around and start looking for a job. She knew I'd lost my job and I was still at home. She at that time I'd spent all my savings and I'd moved back to my aunt's place in Udhiru. I used to stay alone in Roysambu. So you spend all your money looking for another job, and also paying rent, paying your bills, and then you spend all your savings. So I went back to my aunt's place with my stuff. This one time, this friend of mine calls me. I think after some few months, like I think 6-7 months, she calls me. She knew I'd not gotten a job yet. So she asked me if I was willing to work at an M-Pesa shop. Her sister had opened an M-Pesa shop in Kitengela, and I was living in Uthiru at the time. The sister was living in Buruburu. So she asked me if I was willing to like move to Kitengela and live there, because they had like an arrangement there for anybody who was, for me, if I was willing to move to Kitengela. So I told her yes, because at this time I'm so desperate. Like I'm so desperate. Anything, job, any job that I got, I felt like I could just take it. She called me. She told me that if I was willing to take that job, the salary would be this much. The sister was willing because they had apartments near the M-Pesa shop. So they're in the same place in Kitengela. So the sister was willing to give me to spare one room for me, although I was paying the rent. But for that first month, they gave me for free until now I could, settle down and all that. So they were willing to do that. They were just amazing people. The entire family was just amazing. I'd met them earlier, the sisters and the husband and all that. They're just amazing people. You know those people that you meet and they're like your destiny connectors, that kind. I told my aunt, you know what, I'm moving to Kitengela. I don't know, I've never been to Kitengela. At this point, I was just passing going to Mombasa, but I'd never been to Kitengela. I didn't even know how Kitengela looked. I didn't know like anything about Kitengela, but I was willing to just move to Kitengela there, because there was a house waiting for me, and I had already started like house stuff. I bought my house stuff back when I was living in Roysambu, and I'd moved with some of them there. So I was ready to just move my things in and start life, and there was a job waiting for me. So I knew I would not struggle eating, paying my bills and all that. So yeah, the deal was amazing, yes. So I moved to Kitengela. Can you believe I just took a pickup, put everything my house stuff in the pickup, and I started we drove to Kitengela, not knowing exactly. I was being told on the phone, take a right, take a left, like that. Like I didn't know where exactly I was going. I had no idea. We got there and I loved the house. It was a single room, a very nice apartment, but the house that I got was a single room and amazing. And then I was starting life, so I was comfortable with that. Their brother used to live in Kitengela, so the brother met me the following day. Like he oriented me and took me to the shop, showed me around. Like this is what you will be doing and all that. And the following day, the husband came. The husband to now my friend's sister came to Kitengela. He oriented me. He told me how to do. We took stock and everything, and yeah, I started working. So Kitengela was amazing. I made new friends. Like, it was just amazing. That, to be honest, if there's a place that I lived, like I've stayed and really loved the vibe, it was Kitengela. So everything was just, everything was just going on amazingly. My life was just going on amazingly. Everything was just, like kicking and all that. So this one time, I was just business as usual in the M-Pesa shop, and we used to have an M-Pesa, and then we were selling those phone accessories. So this one guy comes, and he tells me he wants to withdraw some money, 20,000 to be precise. And I was like, do you have cash? Back then, Safaricom, we used to have that book, and then you write at the end of it, you write your total, like the balance that you have in your phone. We used to write that, which was, I don't know what they were thinking, but technology, I'm sure maybe they'd not gotten to the extent of safety that they have right now, because that was really risky. Now thinking back, that was really risky. So we used to write, like, that book was very long, and then we used to write, the balance. After you've drawn the balance that you're remaining with the phone, you write there. So this guy comes and tells me they need to withdraw, nini, and all that. So he's very, well dressed. I can remember the guy was wearing a corduroy suit, like a very nice corduroy suit. It was very, those people that they just, and then he had car keys in his hand. I didn't see him parking. I thought that maybe he's just parked somewhere else, but he had car keys. He was just looking very polished and all that. So we spoke, and then he received a call. After saying, and then he's asking me while he's on the call, are there delays? And he told him, no, maybe, but right now we do not have delays. Maybe they've just started, because back then, okay, sometimes Safaricom, they have these delays, sometimes they don't, something. So it was just a common thing to happen. Some delays were there. So he tells me, I've not gotten my message. So another customer comes in while he's just there, like on the side, and he's speaking on the phone to another person. And then we were waiting for the message, after he has withdrawn. So another customer comes, a lady, just a very young lady, and then she tells me she wants to withdraw. And then she asks me, she tells me the same thing, that are there delays, because I'm still trying to withdraw. And then she left. She told me, I'm still around. If it comes, I will come back. So at this point, I'm sure there are delays. So this guy tells me, I've gotten my message. Have you received your message? And then I'm like, no. After a minute, he shows me the message on his phone, and then he tells me, let's wait for your message. So I'm, when somebody is that confident for me to wait for my message, I'm like, well, let me wait, because I was very cautious. So I wait for my message, and then the message comes, M-Pesa message, their exact message. You get, like, because now it's like he had seen the balance on the book, and then he had added, because withdrawing, he had added money to the number, that the balance that I had, and then he had now sent me the message. I don't know how that happened, but later on, I didn't know how that happened, but later on, the police explained everything to me. So there I was. I see the message. I give the guy 20,000. And we're good to go. So another customer comes after like 30 minutes, because it was a slow day, it was in the middle of the day. Another customer comes, and then he tells me I withdraw some money for him. But when I'm looking at the balance, the math is not mathing, the math is not mathing. And I'm like, what's happening? But I finished with this customer because he just needed some less than 1,000 shillings. And then I send a message to Safaricom to check my balance. And then I can see the 20,000 has not been reflected. It's like the same money that I had. But I'd given this guy some 20,000 cash already, and the guy had left. So I started to panic. There's like Kitengela, there was a Safaricom shop, like this big, what is it called? Like customer care. They had a customer care shop there in Kitengela, like near where I was. So I closed the shop very fast, and then I rushed to just check, because now at this point I'm in panic mode. So I rushed there to check what has happened, and they tell me they've not seen. And then I have that the message, I had the message that the guy had sent me. So at this point now I realized there's two M-Pesas in my phone. There's this M-Pesa and then there's the normal M-Pesa that the messages come with. So Safaricom attendant now tells me this number was like the code that M-Pesa comes with was used in a previous day to withdraw money in Angware. And at that time I knew mine was just done. By the time I'm done with this, now we are speaking with these another two ladies. They come to the same customer care shop and they are telling us the same story of the same person. For me, the guy had an ID of Martin Kinoti. I cannot forget. The guy to this day, it's like past I think 10 years now, but right now to this day I cannot forget the guy, how he looked, how the guy had dressed and the name that he came, because this is something that I had to repeat to Kitengela police station, to Buruburu police station, to my employers. So something that really stuck with me, and everybody that I was giving stories to. So the guy, for me, the idea was Martin Kinoti. To the other people, it was different names. These are the two ladies were coming there were M-Pesa attendants in other shops, just around Kitengela, not far from mine. You get? So this guy, within these 30 minutes, had conned another two M-Pesa shops. For them, it was around 60,000, and another one was a lot of money. So we were advised to rush to Kitengela police station. We went to Kitengela police station and then we filed the report, but the policemen were like, this is a very common story. This is a very, very common story that, so they didn't even know what to do because they had like a whole file of the same cases of M-Pesa being conned and all that. So at this point now, I had informed my boss. And I had informed the brother that I told you was living in Kitengela. So I had called my boss. My boss, the lady now, had just given birth. So she was just confined in the house. She couldn't move around. So it's the husband. She told me, you do this, back the M-Pesa book, the M-Pesa phone, and those things, the cash that you have and all that, and then take a taxi from Kitengela all the way to Buruburu. So I went with this brother of hers. So we went to Buruburu. Hey, to her house, and at this point there was so much happening. Her husband had just gotten an accident, so she was just not in the right frame of mind. She had a young baby that she had just given birth, and then her husband has just gotten an accident, was in the hospital, admitted in the hospital. So by the time we were getting in, it was around 4 in the evening. But by the time we were getting to her place, we found her, she was leaving the house to go to see the husband in the hospital. So she told us, she didn't even want to talk to me. She told me, just let's go. So we followed her, me and the brother, we followed her to wherever. I didn't even know where she was taking us or where she was going. Where she lived, her house was just opposite the police station. We just crossed the road and then it's the Buruburu police station. So when we got to the Nili and I saw that we've entered when we crossed the road and I saw that we had entered the police station, because she told me we are going to file a police report, the same one that we had filed in Kitengela. So I was just relaxed. You know how you just relaxed and you're not seeing anything, you're not panicking. The only thing that you're panicking about is the money that you've lost and this situation that has happened, but you're not even feeling like something is coming. She took me to an office. We just went straight to the CID office. Then it was not DCI, it was CID office. So we went to I could tell this is somebody who had a rank there. So we went straight, we didn't go to the OB and all that. We went straight to an office and she told the guy, the man in the room, this is her. You just do whatever it is and then you'll inform me after you're done, and I'm rushing to hospital. And she left. So I was left with this guy. I came to learn later that was the CID. So the CID was now questioning me what had happened. He was not writing anything, but he had questioned me. I repeated the same story and all that. And then he told me, he was very calm. He told me, what you will do, this woman has gone through a lot. He explained to me so many things, the accident, how she has a young baby. She doesn't even have enough time for that baby. And then she had another M-Pesa in Meru that was just stolen and some shenanigans had happened there. So this guy was just telling me how this woman had gone through so much. And then he told me, come with me. And remember, let me just explain to you what I was wearing. Because I just left the house in the morning with like this, I knew I was going back, so I didn't even have, and it was warm season, so I just have this like half sleeved t-shirt top and some trousers, and I had sandals. That is all I had, and I had natural hair. So the guy tells me, come, like, follow me. So me, I remember this time, I'm not like suspecting anything. I'm not even feeling scared or some type of way, but I'm feeling, I don't know, I can't explain what I was feeling, but there was nothing was telling me that I'm going to be taken where I'm going, like something is coming, like me being in a cell. So we go downstairs, and then he tells me, he gives me to somebody, and then he's telling me, you have a phone, put there, right there. And then now I meet now the policemen, they'll be, and now they're booking me in. So they're telling me, remove that, remove. Lucky enough, I didn't remove my sandals. The way they say that in police station, you would leave one shoe. I had both of my shoes, because they were sandals. And then I left my phone. Now that's when it clicked. That's when it hit me that I'm being booked. And then was one of the policemen even said that today, leo unaenda kukua mgeni wetu. And that's, let me tell you, now me thinking about that experience right now, it was something. It's something that really stayed with me for a very long time. So I went there because it's like you're in denial. I can't even explain the feeling. I've never been arrested at this point, and I'd never even felt like you know how you say these things cannot happen to me. You know how you see that these things like are meant for some people, not you. So that was me. So I got booked in, and then I was taken to the women's, whatever. I found them, they were outside at that particular time, but it was like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then they were told to go in. Remember this day, it's on a Friday. I didn't even mention that it was on a Friday evening, right? So on this Friday evening, I got booked. I went to the women's cells. I remember when I went outside and I started crying. I went to a corner. It was like a wire meshed place. Like the top is wire meshed, but it's an open place where people, I think you're told to go outside, maybe get a breather or something before, and then you're told to go back to your cells. So I went there because that's where the others were. I stayed there, I think, for 10 minutes. I went to a corner and I started crying. No, because now I'm shaking. All of a sudden, I'm feeling so cold. All of a sudden, I'm feeling so, like, I can't even explain. I don't have a phone to call anybody. There's nobody who knows, not a friend, because I left Kitengela without, even the friends around me, they didn't even know where I was going. Like, they just saw us closing the shop and all that. I didn't talk to anybody. So nobody knew where I was going. Nobody knows that I am in a police cell at this point. So I felt like now this is it for me, because nobody knows I'm here. If these people decide to like wanifunge forever or just keep me there forever, that's it. Like it was just something very traumatizing, let me just say that. So we're told to go back to the cell, and now that's when the real trauma starts, because it's just one room, a very small room, and then they have toilets there, and the toilets, the doors are all open. It's like the same room but has toilets, like 3 toilets, and the toilets have no doors. So the smell there, it was just stinking, the place was just cold, and there are no mattresses, no nothing, so you stay on the floor. So I went to a corner, I just leaned on the wall, and I stayed there. And remember, I have that short-sleeved top and a trouser, and I did not have anything else. No socks, no nothing. At this point, I'm still hopeful. It has not clicked my mind that I'm going to spend the night here. There's this thing in me that is telling me that maybe my employer, after she's left the hospital seeing her husband, she's coming to see me. Like, she's coming to get me. Maybe I'm just being held here until she comes. So there's that Delulu moment that was there, and I stayed there. And let me say, it's just some hope that kept me going, because I feel like I could have collapsed. But I'm still crying. And I met some very nice women there who are just encouraging me and telling me, this place, how people in the cell, they tell you, or in prison, they say, like, this place was built for human beings like us, so don't feel like you're out of place. But for me, I've never been like, it's never even crossed my mind like I could be in such a I could be in such a place. Like, I felt like this is not for me. Like, how you always see and hear other people's stories, how they got arrested, how they went to prison because of this thing, and you always feel like it can never be me. It can never be me, because how on earth I feel like I'm an upright citizen. I feel like I don't do these things, but let me just tell you, sometimes you don't know what you'll cross paths with. Because now for me, see where I ended up. So I was feeling that way. So, but you know, them talking to me, it got me, it helped me stop crying. Because let me tell you, I was crying a river. I was really crying. Like every time I was thinking, like, where am I start crying. What's happening? Like, I start breaking down. Night came, nobody came for me. And I just spent the night there. At around 10 p.m., so many people, so many women were just brought inside the cell. So the spaces that were there that we could sit down, we could no longer sit down. So many people were just standing. The place was crowded. There are people who were drunk because there was people who had been caught loitering, others in the clubs. You know, it was just so many things happening. So it was just not something. To this day, that thing, me thinking about that, it still traumatizes me. Morning came, some police women came, they took us to some offices, told to mop. So we went to the offices and we started mopping. And then we came back, we went to the place where, like now the outside place. Yeah, so there, what was helping me was the stories, because now people started sharing their stories. Why are you here? This one shares their story. Why are you here? This one shares their story. Now you could hear so many people there. And then at that time I was 21. There were older women there who, you know, because of chama monies, they were there because of these, because some very funny things there. Especially for women, they were just funny things there. They've been involved in a fight with their neighbor, with a friend, you know, those things. So those stories, they kept the day going. And then for me, I'm still waiting for somebody to come get me. But around 4 in the evening, I was called to the counter, and by a police woman who came and told me, called my name and told me that somebody has come to see me at the counter. So I went to the counter and I found it's that friend of mine. You know, that friend that we used to work with. They were now the one who got me this job from a sister. That she had come to see. You know, you're seeing each other through the mesh door now of the counter. Now she's on the other side of the counter. She had brought me a very heavy shawl. It was a scarf, but a very heavy one and a big one. She saw me that I didn't even have a jumper. So she took off the jumper that she had, the sweater, it was a jumper like this. She took it off and then she gave it to me. And then she had brought me chips. She had brought me some toilet paper and a toothbrush and a toothpaste. And I'm thankful to her to this day. Like, you know, it made me feel human again. Like, it kind of made me that, her being there, her coming to see me, her feeling like she's on my side and she cares for me. That made me feel human again, because let me tell you, that place is dehumanizing. Like, you kind of feel like you're no longer human, you don't belong. So she gave me that, and at least I couldn't even eat. I just went and shared the chips with the other, you know, the other women that we was talking with. But at least I was warm now. At least I was a little bit warm. And then she told me she'll speak to her sister, convince her that she just releases me, and then we'll go solve whatever it was that like on the outside. So at least I had a hope. I had hope that somebody is on my side, somebody is pleading my case, you know. So yeah, that was Saturday. So Saturday, the same thing happened at night. Now more women were brought. I think the weekends in the police cell, they are just hell. It's just hell, because there were so many people that were brought in. So many women were brought in. Now the place was packed. The place was smelly. The place, the place was just, you know what. And at this point, I'm still hopeful that I'm not spending the night there. But Saturday night came, and then we slept. And then in the morning, same routine. The policewomen come, and then they take you to different places to work, like do those, you know, cleaning, compound cleaning, office cleaning, you know, dining cleaning and all that. You know, the funny thing is, I don't remember me eating food there or drinking anything there. I don't remember. I think I didn't eat anything except the chips, now the fries that my friend, I think I took like one handful or something, because we shared with the rest of the people. I don't remember eating anything. I don't know if I ate or I didn't, but I don't remember me eating anything or drinking anything. I knew I was there the entire of Sunday, so I said, let me wait until on Monday, because they've said Monday is when people are like being taken to court. So there I was just relaxed, and I set my mind, now I'm spending another, now on Sunday night there. During the evening at around 5, one of the police women comes and calls, the same woman actually that I talked to, comes and calls me and tells me needed at the office. She takes me to the same office that I'd come, the CID office that I told you I was taken to when I came in. So when I enter the office, I see a familiar face, and this familiar face, it's one of my uncles, his boss. I'd met him back when I was in high school. I'd come to Nairobi and I'd met him. No, he greets me, but in my mind I'm asking, how did they even know that I'm here? Because my friend did not even know that side of my family. They didn't even know the Nakuru people. She did not even have any contact of my people. Even my aunt, the one that I was living with in Muthiru, she didn't have her contact. So I really wondered what had happened there. But I came to learn later that my friend had gone to look for my aunt. Like she asked around, and she went to my aunt's place and she informed her, and later on, now my aunt communicated to my uncle, and my uncle, who was in Nakuru at the time, communicated to his boss. And his boss, now, who was influential in Nairobi, was coming from a good family here in Nairobi. So the uncle now, was connected in one way or another. So came to Buruburu station now to get me. So that's how they all got to know about the entire thing, through my friend. So it's my friend. I think she talked to her sister, and her sister was not backing down, so she had to inform my family. Now the CID tells me that now my uncle, now because he had come and posed as my uncle, CID is telling me my uncle has gotten. I'm lucky because I could have stayed there and gotten to court, but my uncle had come to get me. So I felt some kind of relief. To this day, I don't know if he paid money. The money they said that the money that got lost. I don't know what happened or what they talked, because we didn't even stay in the office for long. All I was told is that now the policewoman to take me down to the counter and book me out, if there's something like booking me out, like release me now officially, take my stuff and all that. So while I'm at the counter, I see now my uncle's boss passing, and he waves at me, and I thought he was waiting for me now outside, but he wasn't. For him, he had done what he had come to do, and he had gone. He was sure that I had gotten released, and to this day I'm so thankful to him for that. Now I'm outside Buruburu station. I'm looking, there's nobody there, that I know. My phone is off. I do not have transport to go to Kitengela. I'm not even sure if the Kitengela home is still intact, because I don't know if they've locked the door, because remember where I used to live, the flat that I used to live belongs to my boss, so maybe they'd locked it, or they had, breaked into it or something. I didn't know what I was going, to get and find them. So, but when I was there, I remember there's a friend of ours, there's a mall that was next to opposite Buruburu police station, and he used to work there, but that was a very long time ago. So I told myself, let me go and try my luck. Maybe he's still there, maybe he's not. Even I might even ask for him. Maybe there's somebody who knows him, might call him, or somehow. I didn't even know what I was going to get there. I went exactly where he used to work. He used to work in a Safaricom shop. By the time I'm getting in, voila, he's there. And I really felt some kind of relief, just seeing a familiar face, somebody that you're hoping they're gonna help you, or at least just charge your phone. I explained to him what had happened, because let me tell you, remember I had natural hair, so my hair was chaotic. I was looking like an accident. I was really looking so bad. So I explained to him what had happened, and he charged my phone, sympathized with me, or empathized with me, and just gave me some transport to go to Kitengela. And let me tell you, the journey from Buruburu to Kitengela was the longest. Because remember, you're so dirty, you're feeling filthy, you don't know what you're going to bump into, like you go to get into, you don't know what you're going to find there in Kitengela in your home. So it was the longest, and at this point I had not called anybody. I didn't call anybody. I just told myself, let me get to Kitengela. If I see the situation how it was, and then now I can start calling people. So yeah, I get to Kitengela, and thanks to heavens, my house was intact, everything was intact. I get inside, and let me tell you, I took a shower for I guess an entire hour or two, because I was feeling very filthy. I took off my clothes from the door. When I entered the door and locked the door, I started taking my clothes from there. I took everything off. I showered from my head to my toe. Like, I was really feeling this filth. I can't even explain it. I was feeling like I'm from a place I can't even explain. you know. But thank God I did not carry those bed bugs. But I didn't want to risk. So after that, I took those clothes and then I took a scissor and then I cut all of them and threw all of them away. I didn't want even anything to remind me of that. Me and my friend, we continued talking. We were just in good talking terms and all that. But that was a very unfortunate situation there that got me, like I landed myself into. And you know, that's what I'm saying. I don't know, sometimes life happens and you find yourself in such situations that you would never even thought of. You've never even dreamt of getting yourself in. That was just something that really taught me that life is hard, because remember I was 21. So it was just like some initiation to this entire thing called life. It was an experience that I can never forget. It's past 10 years right now, and I can never forget that, because that was my first, and hopefully to God, my very last, because you can't wish that even to my worst enemies. So that was it. That was my jail cell story. And yes, I thought about sharing it with you because for fun and just for somebody to learn a thing or two. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more stories like this. And comment down on the comment section and let me know if you've ever been arrested, whether it's a prison, a cell, or any other experience that you've ever had, of especially these things that catch you off guard. You know, the kind of things that catch you off guard, because they're in there. I found out that you can be like arrested because of so many different reasons, like so many things. You're in a chama, there's money, you know, those things that people consider very small, but some people find them in a they put people in a very sticky situation. Don't forget to comment down below. Don't forget to share this story with somebody else that you know might like it. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Bye bye until the next one. Mwah.